Hello everybody, my name is Sophie and welcome back to another episode of the Bookhater Club podcast. We're back, guys. We're back with the Bookhater Club, the first episode of the year. Which is kind of embarrassing because it's already the middle of February, which is why the theme for today is Valentine's Day. And the only way I'm executing this theme is through this sweater and this little bear that has hearts on him. How cute is he? He's the love bear. He's supporting us today because we need a lot of peace and we also need a lot of love for today's episode. What will we be talking about in today's episode? First of all, I hope everyone's doing great. I hope everyone's doing good. Welcome back to the Bookhater Club podcast. It's really weird to be back and just talking and trying to talk without any breaks. But I think I say that every time I film. So, how's everybody doing? Tell me. I'm waiting. Okay. Thank you for telling me. Today's topics, just right off the bat, I'm going to tell you. We're going to talk about a drama that happened in the middle of December on Twitter, on Book Twitter. And it was titled Sungate. I don't know if anybody is going to recognize that. It was a while ago that this happened. But while it was happening, I didn't have any time to film a podcast episode about it because there were a bunch of book dramas going on simultaneously. And then in January I had all of my exams and didn't have time to film any videos, and now I'm back, and so I thought I'd rehash it now for you guys so you all know what's going on, because I also just think that this is such an interesting story. It's very funny to me, okay? Respectfully, it's really funny just because of how ridiculous it is. And I don't think that anybody truly took the person that was involved in this seriously. Everybody knew this person is just not okay. She's going crazy. And I'm not gonna name her name until we get there because I don't want her to find this. You know what I mean? So, also she doesn't deserve that. But I do have to say her name later so you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, that's the topic of today, the main topic of today's podcast episode. As we know, this is a chill get together. You can let this run in the background while you're cleaning or doing whatever or reading. No, you have to listen to me. Well, you don't have to, you know? But I always like letting podcasts run when I'm doing anything else. Just because those are usually the only types of videos that are long form. People don't really post regular long form videos. Well, except video essays. But then I have to concentrate. With podcasts, you don't have to concentrate as much, you know what I mean? And I always let them run in the back when I'm doing stuff. So that's what I use them for. What do you use podcasts for? I'm asking you all of the questions today because we haven't chatted in a while. I've uploaded my, what was the book? Twisted Love review, and then of course the Crescent City review. A lot of people came to the channel. Welcome to everybody who's joined the Bookhater Club. Unofficially, because you're not members probably, but that's okay. That's okay. We still welcome you with peace and with love. And that video already has 10,000 views, which is so crazy to me that so many people are watching it. It's always crazy to me when such a big amount anybody watches the video is always crazy to me, but 10,000 people is that's how many people live in my town. They've all seen the video. No, it's just crazy. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much if you joined, and I'm always happy when people get what I'm doing, because with videos that also get a lot of views, you know, there are also a lot of people who comment hate because they find my channel through a popular video. And so what I can do with that, I'm the OG hater, so I know how to deal with that. Anyway, before we get into any topics of today, I of course want to give a shout out to my members, my official book haters. That's why I said you're unofficial book haters, because of course my members are my official book haters. They're in the Bookhater Club and they get exclusive benefits such as my videos a day early, for example, which is really cool in my opinion. And they also get to vote on my next reads. This is coming up very soon again. I'll tell you about it later with all of the books that I'm reading and reviewing and everything, what the plan is. So if you want to have some input into that, and also the kind of, if I film a bunch of videos, which videos I post first, I also let them vote on that. And then what else you get? You get cool stickers in the comments if you've seen them, War and Hate and Peace and Love. I love those. I love them. I think they're so fun. And what else do you get? My movie commentary, Ruby Red movie commentary, my Peace and My Love, and it's also just a way to support my channel a little bit more for me to buy the books that I'm reviewing and stuff. That's the money, that's what it goes towards, and also to upgrade the setup. I want to get a new microphone. So I always see these people using wireless microphones. I really want to get one. I think they're really sick and slay. And everybody has one, and I also want one. I want to be part of the gang, okay? So, who are my members? Of course, they also get a shout out in my video. That's really cool. They are Haley B, Ashley Ranger B, Mrs. Premica, Trinity ELW, Clara S. Oh no, I think this is Kushimeta. You renamed yourself. I can see, but I think this is you, right? I hope it's you, but I think it's you. If whenever you change your YouTube handle, or name, I don't think it's the like username, it's just the name. Then it changes here also, so then I also like I have to make sure that I'm shouting out the right people because I do not know how to say that. Uti Si Kushi, but I think that's Kushimeta, right? Love you. And then also Deja, Queen Sif, Courtney, Haley Charles, Grace, Asteria, Lacy Lace EDC, and my newest member, Elovette. How cool is that name? I've never heard that name before, and I think it's so elegant. Elovette, if that's like your actual name and not just like a tag, like you know how people when they play video games they make up names and stuff, doesn't matter, but Elovette is really elegant. I really like it. I really like old-timey names, but I don't really want to talk about names because I always freak out when I think about that, because a lot of people always have like their children's names or the names that they want to give their future children picked out and have like a list. I see people talk about that all the time, obviously, understandably so. It's something that you should think about. I just never think about it, so I just never do. And then I get scared because I'm like, what if I have children in 10 years and I don't know what to name them? What if I'm like Kylie Jenner and I have to rename my child after it's born? That's because I'm going to be famous like Kylie Jenner soon. Soon? I don't know what I'm manifesting for myself. I'm really scared. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, thank you to all of my members for being here. Thank you to Elbet for joining. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Maybe I'm not saying it correctly. You let me know. But I think I am. I just really like the name. I don't know. If my future daughter is called that, then it's for you, girly. After my book haters, she asked me, where did I get my name from? I'm gonna say for my book haters. Long time ago, I was a book hater. No, I'm always gonna be a hater. Okay, guys. So before we get into our main topic for today's podcast episode, I want to talk about the upcoming videos. Right? Also, happy Valentine's Day. Did I say that? Yeah, I talked about the color. I forgot already. It's kind of ill-fitting. I don't like how it's like this big on the top, but it doesn't have any hearts on it, but I think the colors are perfect. They're perfect for Valentine's Day. And I got this on sale for €5, so anyway, I also glued on some nails for you guys. Did the whole thing. So what videos can you expect? That's like what everyone's waiting for, because of course my book rants get the most attention because they're the coolest. I know, guys. I know. I also like filming them the most. I like filming everything, but the rants is just really where I shine. So what is coming up? I still have some books that I read that I haven't reviewed yet. For example, Hooked by Emily McIntyre, I think her name was. Really surprising that I remember that. That's gonna be a short review that's coming up probably this month, but the review that I want to post before that, so maybe it's going to be in March, I don't know yet, but that's coming soon, right? Because I read that in my 24-hour reading vlog of dark romance books that I did in September. I always confuse September and December for some reason. It's because of the Ember. But I did it in December and I haven't reviewed it yet, and I want to review it because it's a very silly book and it's a very easy review, right? And another easy review is Check and Mate by Ellie Hazelwood, because I read that and I didn't review it, and I really want to review it, even though it's like it's been a while since I read both of these, so it's going to be real interesting to see how much I can remember. Obviously I took notes, but still I have to understand what I was saying in those notes. And I really want to review it because her newest book just released, which is called Bride, which is the werewolf, vampire, Omega, Alpha, do you say it's Omega-verse, right? The werewolf shit. Omega-verse fantasy book, supernatural book, and I haven't heard anyone talk about it. That's funny, actually. Let's look it up on Goodreads, because it's out already. It came out a few days ago. Let's see what the reviews are like, and I really want to read it, but of course I'll let my members vote on that. I don't just want to decide for myself what I'm going to read next, because the book that I'm currently reading is the sequel to Divine Rivals, which is Ruthless Vows. So it feels so weird that I have like a bunch of books that I read and haven't reviewed yet, right? Because it's like I never have content backed up I always film and I upload. Like, this video is gonna probably come out like latest tomorrow for members, so it's very like, how do you say, like in time, my videos always. But that's not how YouTubers do it. Like, I need to get better at that. I need to pre-film stuff, because then it's more chill, because you have content and you don't have to worry about not being able to post. I'm just too lazy. I'm just too lazy. But I'm reading Ruthless Vows right now, so that's also coming, that review. It's really boring. I have nothing to say about it. I don't like, it's like Divine Rivals. Just the roles are switched. You'll see. Anyway, that's the book I'm currently reading. And then the next read, my members will get to vote. Bride will be included in that because I want to read it. And I don't know what other books. I have a bunch, you know, the books I have in my bag. No one ever comments about them, but a bunch of them I reviewed, a bunch of them I haven't. So become a member today. Join the Bookhater Club today to be able to vote for my next read. And then also, of course, I've talked about it, I want to do series reviews, but I have to start in that somehow. I just don't really have like a plan. I'm not good at making plans, you know? Anyway, the other book that I will review is Haunting Adeline. I don't want to. Haunting Adeline was such a fever dream, and I also finished that a while ago. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it with you guys. I fucking hate that book. And the lore that is behind that is also insane. And I think when I make that review, either I'll do a podcast episode separately, or it will be a long review because I'll have to do a whole section where I talk about just dog romance in general. You guys let me know. Should I do a podcast episode about dog romance and the issue with like the dog romance genre? Or should I include that in the Haunting Adeline review? Because Haunting Adeline is a great example for, and that's the only thing that's great about it, controversial books. Yeah? Anyway, as I was saying, the only good thing about the book is that it's a great example for the dark fantasy or dog romance genre. It's not fantasy, it's romance, dog romance genre, and how big of an issue it is, and how big of an issue it can be. I think it's interesting, but I will have to think a little bit harder about that, and I'm not in that mindset right now. To think a little bit hard. I'm not in my thinking era right now. You know what I mean? I'm just in my existing era. So those are the book updates that I have for you guys, just so you know what I'm currently reading. I also started reading The Prison Healer, but I have absolutely no interest in that. So I'm probably gonna put that on the next poll also, now that I'm thinking about it. I have it shelved as reading on Goodreads, but I'm gonna shelve it as to read because that book is really fucking boring. Does anyone care about The Prison Healer, Peace and Love? I don't. So, what else is new? Nothing else is new. We have a little, or I have a little update before we get into the main topic about Rebecca Yarros, the author of Fourth Wing, that I saw on Twitter, and this is one tweet that I saw, guys. One singular tweet that I screenshotted, and I am not on Twitter. Do not look for me. I do not use it. The only time I use it is when I'm really, really bored and TikTok is not giving. And then I'm like, what the fuck should I do? I go on Twitter. And then I scroll the timeline, and I get bookish things shown to me, right? And sometimes I need it for dramas like this, just so I'm able to look at it myself and take screenshots myself. And so I got this tweet on my timeline randomly, right? Rebecca Yarros visited, or is currently visiting, Dubai. Why? Because there's a festival, a book festival going on called Lit Fest, okay? I'm not in that sphere. I don't care. I also don't give a fuck about Dubai. Peace and love if you're from Dubai watching this, love you. Other than that, don't give a fuck about it. It's not my, you know, I don't care what's going on over there. So, what happened though is at Tiny Book Club _ I'm just shout out, her name is Flora, I guess. Or maybe not, maybe that's her online name. I also really like the name Flora, but that's just because of Wings Club. Anyway, she tweeted out, and this is allegedly, because I don't know, I didn't have any footage of this, and I looked it up on TikTok and on Twitter, and I searched Rebecca Yarros Lit Fest, and I couldn't find anyone else talk about it, only this person. So I had to take a screenshot for you guys, because as we know, this is Rebecca Yarros Hate Club. We can rename ourselves. No, I fucking hate that woman anyway. I don't want to get too angry yet. We're still saving up. Tiny Books Club said, at the Lit Fest panel today, Rebecca Yarros tried talking about how she proudly comes from a political political family full of veterans that fought in the Iraqi war, and she feels strongly about American politics. Which we know about this. She won't shut up about it. Funny, we're talking about another military obsessed person today. We know this, I talked about it. I have a whole podcast episode about her. I'm gonna link down below if you haven't watched it yet. If you want to watch it again, feel free. Watch it all the way through and don't skip the ads. But this is not the end of the tweet, because you're gonna say, okay, she's gonna talk about her personal experience in front of an audience, but remember that I told you she's in Dubai, okay? At a Lit Fest, it's called, at a panel talking about the Iraqi war. So what do you think the audience was like? The tweet continues. In a room full of Muslim Arabs and Desis. She says the silence was insane. She also replied to this tweet and said she said this because someone asked what drove her to write the political aspect in her book, and she said American politics made her angry because people would forget those who came before, in brackets, indigenous, and erase their history and rewrite it. Okay, sure, I'm also for that. Love the indigenous. Fuck America. I'm sorry. I thought when I read this, like, she is so tone deaf. And also, guys, I don't know when the next book is coming out in Fourth Wing, in the Fourth Wing saga. You guys have to let me know if I should read that. I kind of feel like I have to. But, of course, whenever I review, like, a continuation of a book that I reviewed negatively, people always point out to me, why the fuck are you reading the next book if you didn't like the first book or the second book? It was also the same with Crescent City. I got so many people telling me this. So, I don't know if I have the, how do you say, if I'm confident enough to do that. So, that being said, I just wanted to tell you guys this because this is just another case of Rebecca Yarros being fucking annoying and stupid. I'm so sorry, guys, but I think if you're here, no, maybe you're new, you know that I don't fuck with her at all. And I explain explicitly why. She's just not my person, right? But no hate to her. Don't send any hate to her. I can't condone that. I'm telling you guys here in this confined space, but I never, and I have to make this clear, want anyone to send any hate to anybody. For example, like this, because I, during my exam era in January, got this lovely message on Instagram, and I've never gotten a hate DM. Comments, of course. DM, no. So I just want to read this out, which is like an example of what you shouldn't do. Because in my entire life, this is like a different topic now. We're done with Rebecca. In my entire life, I have never commented hate on anybody's post because I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, I have other things to worry about. You know what I mean? And so I don't condone that. And also with my next topic that I'm going to talk about, I have to say, don't send hate to anybody, right? And also, everything I say is alleged. Also, I'm just putting that out there. Everything I talk about is always alleged. I'm just scared of the law. So, I got this message on Instagram. I'm obviously not going to say by who. I blocked the person, whatever. So, they sent me a message. It was at 11 p.m. for me. I just had to come tell you how annoying I found your reviews and videos because of how irritating they were. I think that's your overall goal since you rated every book you've read a 1-star rating with a dumb sentence. So, congrats. I honestly love that. I love that I annoyed someone so much that they had to send me a personal message, because this implies that she found my videos and watched some of my videos and then also looked at my Goodreads. So thank you for the view. I hope you watched the ad that came before the video. It's just so insane to me. What warrants a person to actually comment hate on somebody's post? Like, somebody like me. Like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just existing. All the hate that I do is confined to this space, to like my channel and my socials. But someone also said like, why are you saying this if you wouldn't say it to the author's face? Who's saying I wouldn't? I would. I don't mind confrontation. You are underestimating. Blah, blah, blah. You guys are underestimating me. I will hate to someone's face. Not hate. But I will tell them what I said in the video. I wouldn't say it if I wouldn't say it to someone's face. But why would I do that? Why would I say it to someone's face If they shouldn't concern themselves with my videos. They don't matter. My videos don't matter. It's just for fun, you know what I mean? And so I've never commented hate on anyone. I've never sent anyone a hate message. I just don't get it. I don't think it's fun. I don't think it's I just do the videos, right? But it doesn't matter what I say. People will always see me as the hater. And it is called the Book Hater Club, so they are right. But I'm a nice hater. I could be saying worse things. So let's talk about the next topic. So, as I mentioned, this is Sungate, right? I don't know why it's always a gate, what that has to do with anything, but every drama is always kind of titled that. And this happened, as I mentioned, in the middle of December. So, maybe you heard about this. This was on Book Twitter. Maybe you didn't. Doesn't matter. I'm going to explain it to you. And this is long over. The last time this person that started this whole thing and that it was also surrounded around... The last time they tweeted out was in the beginning of January, so they haven't been active on Twitter in like a month. But during this time, during this drama time, they were tweeting like so much. And also before that, they were tweeting so much. So, first of all, this is all alleged. Don't say any hate to anyone involved. Love everybody. Peace and love to everybody. Or war and hate, we will see. You can make your own decision. So, what happened? I'm gonna tell you the condensed version. There was a person on Twitter, an author, that wanted to sue another author because of a copyright infringement. Okay? And copyright, I don't really know anything about it. I don't really care. I've never been in a situation where I had to care about copyright, besides with my movie review of Ruby Red. That's so hard to say, Ruby Red movie commentary, because that's copyrighted in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. Why? I don't know, because I literally comment on the entire movie. There's never a scene that's just like without me in it. So it's not like I posted the whole movie, but anyway. But I don't care. It's whatever. So everybody, of course, was like, elaborate, queen, what's going on? Because she made like a tweet about it, and they were like, okay, what's the fucking issue? What is the copyright infringement? And I'm gonna read it out to you. This is all gonna be tweets from her. Some of them are deleted now. Most of them are deleted now, actually, besides the one that make the author look good, because she later on said, I deleted them because they were never meant to be seen like that. Like, you have screenshots, you're gonna be fine. It wasn't like that. Okay, whatever. She wrote, writers beware, in a thick, how do you say, in bold letters. If you steal my copyrighted work, passing it off as your own, you will be hearing from one of my attorneys. Oh, I have to do like a, she's from Mississippi. Southern American accent? No matter what no, that's just American. I don't know how to do it. No matter what country you live in, at Just Marv writes, which is the author that's alleged of copyright. Especially if I reach out to you multiple times first to resolve the issue, then you refuse to comment and block me. And then she made hashtag writing community. I don't know what else she linked. Then she wrote hashtag writers beware, hashtag authors beware, hashtag editors beware, everybody beware, no one be unaware, everybody has to be aware. So now, of course, you're gonna say, what the fuck does she mean? What does she mean? What did she copyright? What did she steal? Because she's implying she stole her entire work, her entire story. She made another tweet and revealed what her issue was. Okay, what her main issue was. She wrote, Dear Marv with an E, which is the handle of the other author, the Twitter handle. I have tried to reach out to you privately regarding copyright infringement, but have received no response. Please take your tweet down. Then she posts a picture of two tweets. Or two pictures. She posted a picture of two pictures, right? On Twitter. The first one is Marv with an E, the author, announcing her new novel called Firstborn of the Sun. Firstborn of the Sun. That sounded really weird. I don't know why I said it like that. Firstborn of the Sun. The first that was born of the sun. And the sun in the sky, not the sun. Like, Jesus. Who does play a role in this story. Well, he's in everything. He's everywhere. So, under this announcement, the author that's alleging infringement comments, like under announcement of the Firstborn of the Sun, she wouldn't have to happen to have the powers to wield the sun now, would she? And Mark with an E, the author of Firstborn of the Sun, replies, LMAO, she most definitely does, because she is Firstborn of the Sun, right? And then you're gonna be like, okay, makes sense. We could gather that. Like, I could have guessed that without knowing any more information. And the author that's alleging infringement, I'm going to say her name now. Her name is Lauren. I'm not going to say any more. Her name is Lauren. Lauren tweets out next to it a picture, I don't know how Twitter works, of a screenshot of her novel. Her own novel, right? And she highlights a passage. So I couldn't find this in big. I'm going to show you guys how I see it. Like, it's right next to it. So some of the sides are cut out. So I'm going to do my best to read it out to you. And then we're going to figure out together what the issue is, what the copyright issue is, right? Of the story and everything. Like, you're going to guess, oh, maybe she copied an entire plot, like the entire book. Just you wait. Okay, so this is a conversation in Lauren, her book. Her name, the name of her book is called what the fuck am I saying? The name of her book is Nova's Playlist. Okay, it says, "Who was that?" Nova stood, fighting for balance. Whatever, I can't read the rest. "My brother," Kate frowned as he tossed another alien into interstellar oblivion around them. "He's always blah 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 of me." I can't read the sides. When I say blah blah blah, I can't read it. It's a great way to start. Well, we're not starting, we're 30 minutes in, whatever. Okay. "Being one step ahead of aliens is good." Oh, Nova, we're never one step ahead of aliens. "That's why I need your help." "What do you need me to do?" "Control the sun. It's the answer to stopping the war." "What war?" "The battle between Cythera and Brimstone Planet, between the future world and old Earth. In its after, whatever, blah blah blah, World War III. The fight between heaven and hell, blah blah blah. And you're right in the middle of it." "Why?" "Because Nova, you're a solar girl." "But what is my power?" "You can control the sun!" The copyright infringement is over both characters being able to control the sun. Yes. This is like so insane. This is insane. She tried to say later on that there were more issues, that the story was exactly the same. It is not the same at all. They have no similarities, right? You can read the what's it called, summaries if you want to. I'm not going to read them out to you. You just have to take my word for it. They're not similar at all from the summaries that you are freely able to read if you look them up. I don't know if she is aware of that you can just look it up and then read it, you know. Maybe she was hoping that people wouldn't realize you could do that. But what she's pointing out here is that her issue lays with the fact that Marv with an E, her name is just Marv, or Marvy. Oh. The author of Firstborn of the Sun wrote a book where the Firstborn of the Sun can control the sun. And Lauren had already written a book where her character Nova is a solar girl who can control the sun. People started making fun of her. They said, "Girl, what the fuck do you mean? Are you being for real right now? Do you want us to list all the characters in history that have been able to control the sun? Let's start way back. Apollo. No, he can do it. He can control it. Ra. Mythology. Scary. They can do it. Do you want to copyright it over them? Do you want to sue them? What the fuck is her point, okay? People are really confused about this entire situation, why this even came out, especially being able to read an excerpt of her book that she freely posted herself, where the dialogue is literally the character asking, "What do you need me to do?" And then the other character says, "Control the sun." And then later down, the character asks, "What is my power?" He literally just told you, controlling the sun. So the writing is bad also. Fuck. It's all coming together. So what do we make of this? This woman is a little delulu, maybe, okay? Now, I haven't given you any information about either of these people, either of the authors, like background information, because if you are just on Twitter and you see this unfolding, you're not gonna instantly know any of the background information, right? And I'm not gonna give you any either. Maybe at the end, to kind of tie it all in together. You can make your guesses as to some of the background of all of the people involved, but let me just say, you have to guess the, what was it called, profession of Lauren, okay, of the author alleging. But it continues. It continues because, of course, people were starting to make fun of her and saying, because they took it seriously at first. They were like, "Oh my god, did she steal your book? What happened? Like, explain." And then she tried to make a point of copywriting the ability to control the sun. And people were like, "You can't do that. That's just such a basic story trope. You can't do that. That's not how it works. She continued tweeting though, because she just could not get off Twitter. And that is like such a big issue with millennials who are of certain, how do I say, in a certain group. Anyway, she tweeted out, and I'm just gonna read this out to you because this is like probably my favorite part. No, the next tweet is my favorite part. This is the beginning to my favorite part. Missed the hashtag 5 a.m. Writers Club holiday party tonight because I've had to get information together from my lawyer over this copyright nonsense. I am so mad. I'm more upset than someone that has been building on something I published years ago with Ed Mel of the Ball, whoever the fuck that is, as an international author league that she extended to me out of kindness than I was for my own divorce. She's more mad over this than over her divorce. Okay, more power to you. And this author took the storyline and plot for themselves and made it into what they wanted it to be. But it's still basically the same plot. Now, listen to this. It looks like this girl used to be from Nigeria before she moved to the UK. Like, wow. You were already going to be an author. There was no reason to steal my work, and that you had the nerve to send it to an agent as your own makes my blood turn to churning lava. So you're racist. The mental leaps you have to make to conclude that because she is originally from Nigeria and moved to the UK, she was already going to be an author regardless. So you're saying because she's a minority, she had it easier. Or what is it that you're saying? Like, what's your point exactly? What does her being from Nigeria have anything to do? Of course, Lauren is a white woman. And Marv with an E, or Margie with an E, I think her name is actually Marvelous, and she just shortened it to Marv. So I don't know. So then it would be Marv, if it's Marvelous. Because you don't say Marvelous, right? I'm gonna call her Marv, I hope that's right. She's a black author from Nigeria. And Lauren is white from Mississippi. I don't know what you do in Mississippi. I think it's like on the right? Like on the south and on the right. But she now lives in Alabama, which I think is right next to it. So that wasn't a really far move. Anyway, she hasn't seen much outside of those two states maybe. Anyway, sorry. You're gonna say, what the fuck? What the fuck? Why did she say that? Why does her being from Nigeria mean that she's gonna be an author? Or whatever. It doesn't end here. This is gonna be the best part of the story, in my opinion, because I don't think that Marv at any point took this woman seriously. At least she shouldn't have, if she did. Or anyone did, for that matter. People really started piling onto her. Of course, she started getting like bad reviews on her book. 1-star reviews, we'll get to it. But I think rightfully so, because what the fuck is that tweet? You didn't have to include her being from Nigeria. It doesn't have to do with anything surrounding her stealing your plot. Or does it? Because this is my favorite thing. She doubled down and then posted a screenshot from Google. And this screenshot, guys, is so insane. She Googled what type of crime comes out of Nigeria. and she posted that picture, and it says, organized criminal groups of Nigerian origin have created operational hubs in various countries engaging in drug trafficking in persons, cyber fraud, and money laundering. She posted that, and then she explained like why she said or why she made the Nigeria reference, as she calls it. As for the Nigeria reference, even though it is an influential and important country, there is a high rate of sorry, I can't speak. A high rate of banking phishing scams, that's one thing, cyber fraud, drug trafficking, and money laundering that comes out of that country. What? I have no idea what the fuck she's trying to say. Like, did she want it to say, like, theft? Because that would explain why a black woman from Nigeria would steal your story, because, you know, everybody in Nigeria is a thief. That's what everybody knows. What the fuck does she mean? Why the fuck would she say this? I don't even understand how your brain could make you go from one thing to the other? What compelled her? What in the, like, in God's name, to make it a little bit better for her, because she is a devout Christian, what in God's name made her go ahead and Google what type of crime come out of Nigeria? And then post it on Twitter as an explanation as to why she mentioned that woman was Nigerian and stole her story. You are hardcore racist. I don't know what to say, allegedly, you know what I mean? In my opinion. And I think this is so funny. Like, I'm sorry, I don't think, like, genuinely, if this upset Marv, I feel for you, but if I were in her shoes, I would not be able to take this serious. I would be like, what is going on? What are you trying to fucking say? Say it with your chest! Don't worry, guys. We are not done here. She then, or no, not her, but someone else found an excerpt of her book. Now, I'm not sure if this book is like, if it's a series or what the, sorry, I have to get comfy, what like the order of books is. I thought this was about Nova's playlist, but the title of this book says Solar Girl. We know that Nova is a solar girl, so this is definitely like in the realm somewhere. But I didn't care to look that much into it because I don't give a fuck about that woman's book, sorry. I'm gonna show you the cover in a second, it's hideous. Anyway, someone found this passage. I'm just gonna read it out to you guys, okay? You are no longer hidden here. Valia reached out to touch her daughter, and a wave of white light burst from her hand. When it cleared, Nova was no longer on the balcony, but standing in a bleak plowed field with her mother. What's happened? Trying to gain control of her shaking body, Nova could not mentally absorb that they had teleported again. Workers clad in clothes from a prior century were tilling the rows. Where are we? Somewhere they will not find you, my daughter, but not somewhere safe. Her mother let out a pent-up sigh as she dusted off her gray business suit. And where is that, mother? England. In 1788. Somewhere in the time they would never think to look for you. Who would look for me? Who are these people who had you, Mom? Why would they want me dead? This swearing is so bad. Valia's mouth opened, uttering one word, but horse hoofs pounding the earth drowned out her mother's response. You there! A man atop one horse yelled, his mount galloping straight for them. What are you doing standing around in such get-up? Back to work. He lashed out with a whip that struck Nova across the hand, drawing blood. Nova glared, but her mother shook her head and said in her low alto voice, Do as he says, Nova. We will be slaves here. Until I can find a way to go home. Can you hear the bells in the back? Anyway, she put a passage in her book because as far as I'm concerned, Nova is able to teleport, time jump between different times, period. And she decided to make them jump into England, into 1788 when they were slaves, because the main character is supposed to be black. Nova is supposed to be black. You couldn't think of anything else? Anyway. Interesting. Very interesting. To prove her point further, she referenced a tweet that she made in 2020 talking about her story, right? To prove, like, Marv stole my story. She references, she said in the tweet, First 13, Nova is running from dark droots when she realizes her speed is faster than a bullet train. Shoved off the Empire State Building by one of the religious assassins, she finds she can fly. A good-looking teleporter, Kate, uncovers her origins from another world. And then she says, my tweet in 2020 for the second novel I was working on that somebody decided to steal. Now, can you tell something? Can you tell something? The tweet that she's referencing, that somebody decided to steal, didn't even include sun-controlling powers. Okay, so at this point everyone's like, we don't know what you're going on about, girly pop. We don't know what your issue is. We think we're just racist, and for being honest, like, why are you going after this person? Your stories have nothing to do with each other, and then you're calling her a thief because she's from Nigeria. Like, just leave it be at this point. But this woman, Lauren Pop, she would not shut the fuck up. Nobody could get her to shut the fuck up. I don't know if she has anyone. Why are we yelling? That's my job. At this point, just say that you're racist and go. Like, we don't know what you're going on about. But as she mentioned in her original tweet where she made everyone beware, nobody is unaware, she actually reached out to an attorney, but he just told her to actually wait for the book to release. So she tweeted out, for those of you who are angry that I didn't use oh no, wait, that's the other one that I'm going to talk about in a second. And for the Xers, not the Twitter users, because we're on X now, who say, and she loves Elon Musk, by the way, who say I should have spoken with an attorney first, I did. His firm said to wait until she releases her book through some traditional publisher and view the final product before pursuing litigation. Which, I am not a lawyer. I am just a girl. I think that means you don't have a case. Like, if they're telling you to shut the fuck up and wait, I don't think they think that you have a case, you know what I mean? Like, otherwise they would help you pursue it. I think they want money. And I don't think they can see how they would get any money out of this because you don't have a case. Anyway, she didn't believe this. So, people also started pointing out that this was really funny because she is saying all this, talking about copyright and everything, while her cover of her book looks like this. I'm gonna hold this up and you look at it a little bit because, you know, I hate inserting things. So you can just look at it and me in the back. Look at her fucking mouth. Why the fuck does it look like that? It looks like this because it's AI generated. The story just keeps giving, doesn't it? Like, there's so much more that's coming out. This is AI generated, and then people were like, why the fuck would you call someone out for copyright infringement when you use a book cover that's AI generated? That's stealing from actual creators, from actual artists, art creators, okay, and you're making this. And then she says, for those of you who are angry that I didn't use artwork on my first novel's cover and instead paid a genius who invented coding for an artificial intelligence to assess hundreds of millions of works before creating a picture with the precise thoughts I put in, I prefer progress. That's why she divorced her husband, because she cannot be steady. Let's all take a little bit of water, okay? Let's just, since we're not done yet. We're not done yet. It's gonna keep giving, guys. It's gonna keep getting better. It's just so insane to me that people like this exist. Oh no, wait, I didn't drink anything. Everybody taking a sip of water, that's perfect. That people like this actually exist and then keep thinking that they are correct in their standpoint, and then nothing can sway them. It's really interesting. It's really interesting, isn't it? It's AI generated, as I said, and really ugly. Like, he analyzed 100,000,000 works, because you're into progress. So he literally analyzed work of other people who actually do art. Okay, and it's so fucking ugly. So I would ask for my money back. So then she could not let it sit on herself, or that's how you say it in German. I don't think you say that in English. Sit on herself. Auf sich sitzen lassen. She could not let her name be attached to the word racist. And so she thought, I have to prove. I have to prove myself. I have to prove I am not a racist. And so she went on a tantrum, all on Twitter, proving to us she is not a racist. I will read out those tweets to you, and you can make up your own, how do you say, your own mind, what you think, okay? So, these are not in any particular order. These are just, she was going on and on about not being racist, right? So, I don't even know what order I took these in. So, chooses an African-American doctor to provide medical care for her after cancer. She had cancer. Twice. After cancer treatments when she lived up north, but is labeled a racist. Chose the name Nova for her main character after her close friend's African-American baby girl is named Nova. Writes positively about a black man named Rebel, who disguises himself during the Civil War and sneaks into Confederate camps to slit the throats of soldiers. Is labeled a racist. Writes about slavery to stop gatekeeping. Who is gatekeeping slavery? What does that mean? Can you gatekeep slavery? I think we all know about that. And educate others, because in volume 2, Nova's other option was to lose her power to wield, move, grow, shrink, and control the sun to the Brimstonians. Is accused of fantasizing about slavery and being a racist. I don't understand her point sometimes. Do you get what she's trying to say? I don't really know what she's trying to say with that. Confronts a black independent... Oh, no, wait. Oh, yeah. Dates African American and African men. Is labeled a racist. Fuck. And then we're gonna get into the more intense things, okay? Trigger warning. Gets R-worded in an 18-wheeler. I don't know what that is. By an African American male when she is homeless. Is accused of profiling and labeled racist. There's so much lore behind her. I'm sorry that happened to you, girly pop. Is attacked by a different African American male and gets into a street fight while she's sleeping on the streets. Is labeled a profiler and a racist. Chooses an African American professional woman to represent her years ago. Is labeled a racist. Confronts a black independent author with barely over 1,000 more followers than her, until now, is ignored, has her whiteness tweeted about disrespectfully, and is labeled, guess what? A racist. Oh, it keeps going, guys. Do you want to hear about more of it? Do you want to hear about more of it? I'm going to read it out. It's just one more screenshot that I have. And I think these are the tweets that she left up. The tweets of accusing her and everything, she deleted though, okay? Gives part of her paycheck to several different African American homeless so they can have bus fare and buys them food. Is labeled a racist. You already know, I'm not going to read out the last part. Breaks up a fighting between two grown African American women, pulling each other's weaves. Oh, that's so black of them. Out and hurting one out. Sorry, like I'm just speaking as her, okay? I'm not trying to do anything. And hurting one another at a fair over something that children did in school. And you know what she's labeled as. Draws her weapon and puts her life on the line to protect an African girl and her friends whose house was broken into by a white male with bad intentions. Because somebody who breaks into your house doesn't always have bad intentions. She just had to clarify he had bad intentions. The last one is scammed. Is scammed by Nigerian and South African men who oh yes! I'm so sorry that you had bad experiences in your past, that you were homeless and everything. I actually didn't know that about her. I'm going to talk about what it says on her website and stuff in a second about her. But this one I saw on her Twitter because she was tweeting out about it, and this is something that's really funny to me. Is scammed by Nigerian and South African men who pretend to be in love with her and say they are American soldiers who are stranded overseas and need money. Is labeled as a profiling racist ex-cop. Getting scammed online by men. I don't understand how that still happens to people. I'm sorry that happened to you. I hope you didn't lose that much money. Actually, I do hope you did, because I don't fucking like you. You're a terrible person. But I don't know. That's just like really, whenever people talk about that, I understand when old people get scammed, right? When scams work on old people, because they're just not tech savvy and they don't really know what's going on most of the time. But when someone like her gets scammed online by someone pretending to be in love with her, I'm sorry, that is so funny to me. I'm so sorry. I know I don't want anyone to get this into like the wrong, get this the wrong way. I feel bad for people who fall for that most of the time, but not for people like her who fall for it, who's a terrible person. Like, when this happens to you, it's just like, it's kind of like you getting payback. So, as she says herself, she's an ex-cop. She was a cop in Mississippi. I don't know what's going on in Mississippi, guys. You tell me what's going on in Mississippi. Who's from Mississippi? Rise up! I don't know what's going on over there. She's an ex-cop. The reason she's not a cop anymore is because she had two different cancers. Maybe it was the same cancer, but it came back twice, and she had to stop working to get treated, right? Which is terrible. Cancer is terrible, of course. Let me see quickly what else it says on her website. She loved being a cop, by the way. She tweets proudly about it. She loves the American military. You could have guessed that probably out of everything I read out to you already. I can't find what it says on her website. I screenshotted it. Lauren previously was a magazine author for Scribe magazine and sold books for a multi-million-dollar business. That's really sad for America if someone who writes like this. Anyway, I'm not gonna go there. Now she is open to offers of writing material for the journalism or the publishing industry, for the current events or fiction inspiring young adults. Her favorite things to do are talk with publishers and other writers. That's sad. Read articles and books, listen to music, take walks through nature, make informative videos. Oh, she makes videos. I didn't see any of those. And research ideas and facts for her novels and articles. So she's really trying to be a fucking author, and it's not fucking working because you are terrible at writing. Your writing is shit. I could write better than at 12, and we all know that because I posted multiple videos where I read out my writing that I did when I was 12 years old to you guys. So let me see. Here on her Goodreads, right? She has 3 followers on Goodreads. It says, Lauren studied creative writing and English at the University of Mississippi and wrote stories with her close friends in her teenage and college years. Nobody cares about that. Lauren appreciated writing the works of other authors while working as a state capitol police officer. How is that different from a police? What is the difference? I don't really care that much. I don't get America. Unfortunately, she developed 2 disabling cancers over the course of her employment and had to leave her favorite position. While undergoing chemotherapy, she discovered that writing brought light back into her life and made her very happy. She decided to complete a novel while recovering from her treatments in New England. I don't know where that is. Where is that on the map? Maybe she was somewhere else besides Mississippi and Alabama, like far on the other side. Or she said up north, maybe that's north. And wrote her first book there. An online magazine reached out actually, now that I'm talking about states, I'm looking a little silly because I'm gonna read out a tweet of hers later about countries. Which is really American. Sorry, it's funny. Lauren was thrilled to write for Scribe magazine, as we already read out, and set publishing her novel to the side for a time. After encouragement from several other authors, I don't know who would do that, Lauren decided to publish her first book, Nova's Playlist, independently, and she thanks God for allowing her to overcome her setbacks and inspiring her to write. So that's Lauren for you, okay? She's an ex-cop. She's not a cop anymore. I don't know what she's doing now. She's unemployed or whatever. And she was apparently homeless at one point. Why don't you write about those hardships? I don't know. I feel like if you started out, if you really had a tough life, like it would be a good idea to write about that, just for you to also process that, and also just, I think it would be more personal, and your writing is really bad, so you could maybe get better at writing. So the one tweet that she left up is about the whole racist situation that I know she left up, is she quote tweeted a video where a black, I think this is a student, beats up a white student. And it says, learning self-defense is a must, ... And then she quote tweets this and says, for those of you pulling the race card out for the situation, get your own in line first before throwing an accusation like that to someone who trained with, fought with, and protected people of color. And I think the whole, like, obviously I can't speak for the people of color, but to me, her saying all of this and recounting all her life instances, every instance she ever had with a fucking black person, and always explicitly calling them African American, it just seems like her saying, I had black friends. I have black friends. And that's why I'm not racist. And that's not how it works. And we know that that's not how it works. Like, that doesn't mean you're not racist. Girly pop. Maybe she just has a personal vendetta against Nigeria because she got scammed. On Twitter, I saw that, and I was thinking about putting this in here also, but I already knew that I was going to talk for so long. And at the end of the day, like, I don't really care what she does. I just hope she never gets a career in publishing, you know? She can do whatever she wants, but please don't fucking publish any books. You don't deserve it, especially not after all of this and how you treated another author over nothing. But she was, like, doing an analysis on Twitter. I think she doesn't have, like, any real-life friends is how it came across to me, because she was detailing everything she found out about this dude who was pretending to be a cop or ex-cop or Marine or Navy SEAL or something like that, and it was scamming her for money. And then she was like, I just found out this, like, updating Twitter, and no one was interacting with it. So that's very telling. Anyway, she then proceeded to make the bold claim that someone hacked her, and that's how they got her story. And this is really funny to me too. All of this is really funny because I just don't understand how she could come from one point to the other. How she could make these connections in her brain. Like, it seems very Delulu to me. And I fuck with Delulu people most of the time, but this? What's going on? So she tweets out, for those of you saying, oh, they didn't have access to your writing. Yes, they did. Because as far as I'm concerned, there was something about the timeline of the books being published where people said she couldn't have copied your book because it came before, like Marv's book came before your book, but I didn't look into that much because this is already so much, right? For those of you saying, oh, they didn't have access to your writing, yes, they did. I was really stupid and tweeted that I used Apple products back in 2020. Also, in my author leak was my Apple ID email and my damn password because I was using my character's name, Nova Trace, as my dadgum password, which was really dumb. I wasn't thinking. All of my writings were stored in Apple Pages. Also, I kept getting a login notification from Apple saying that my account was being accessed from San Francisco. Maybe it was some kind of cellular issue, or maybe it was a hack. So, she's saying, if I'm understanding this correctly, she's implying that back in 2020, her shit got leaked, and the hackers, after getting access to her Apple ID, where a lot of things can be linked to your Apple ID with like money, with cards and stuff like that, the hackers decided not to hack her bank account or anything of value. They decided to go into her Apple pages and steal her story. Because that's the most valuable thing, because it's so good. We're gonna steal her story from Apple pages. I feel like that's one of the last apps that a hacker would go on to. If I'm being really serious, what the fuck is she saying? Why is she implying this? I'm sorry. This is so delulu. People started reviewing her book negatively. She got 1 star on Goodreads and everything, you know. As you know the story, this happens all the time. She couldn't handle it, and then she kind of had like a little bit of a meltdown, but she also in the same breath kind of thought she was the now new superstar. She posted this, which is from a Discord conversation with my brother. She's just yapping so much. Her brother says, "I'm sorry, being Twitter's main character isn't fun." And then she replies, "Yeah." Why are you writing her brother on Discord, by the way? Don't you have a phone? Sorry, that's mean. Maybe he doesn't. Yeah, not only was Nova black, so was this Mars person character. We both wrote it for a young adult audience. I wrote mine starting in 2013 and ending in 2020. She supposedly started hers in 2018, but her tweets and posts about it didn't start until after 2020. Her synopsis is basically, everyone in the kingdom of Auru is born with a ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Everything Safeta, when the gods call for her best friend's life, happens in my novel and series I've been querying. My kingdom's actual name is different, and so is the name of the magic. But everything else, same. No. It's not. And also, yet again, we're not talking about the solar power, so I don't really know why she started the whole drama with it being about controlling the sun. Then she tweeted out on Christmas, "Y'all made my widowed mother bawl her eyes out for Christmas with your viral judgment. You think I'm going to let that go? You're wrong." And then she posted a link to SoundCloud to Gemini Blue, which is not focusing, a dubstep song. Okay. Sure. I don't know what that has to do with anything. She really thought she was like in a movie, I think. And that was like her theme song. Like a montage of her like being a badass while this song was playing, like a dubstep song was playing. Very curious to me. Then she goes, "For those of you bomb reviewing my book that you haven't actually read, please stop. Any writing posted on my website is not what my novel's playlist contains. This book was never meant to go viral. If I thought it could, I would have hired an editor before publishing it." That's not really a good thing to say because like, so you don't like your own work? You don't think it's good? Doesn't make any sense. Then she says, "If my book were my website, I'd be a New York Times bestseller. But oh wait, I do have the rough draft of a novella on there and other excerpts. So technically, even if people didn't like it but talked about it on X all day for not liking it so much, I am." So she's saying because she had 7,000 views on her website on one day. And then she says, if my book were this website, I would get 7,000 people to read my book and then I would be a New York Times bestseller. And so I am a New York Times bestseller. Mental leaps, guys. I just cannot understand this person. I just do not get it. I just do not get it. I just do not get it. I can't stop saying it. And then she goes, Captain... She posted a picture of Captain Harmon pinning my badge on, her badge on, after academy graduation, right? And then she says, "Crazy that my dad was there and my lieutenant, but I wanted Harmon to do the honors." And I think Harmon is a black person. So she's proving like she's not racist because she chose a black person to put on her badge. And then she continues, "And you know what? People didn't like Pride and Prejudice when it came out first either. Or Lord of the Rings, or Great Gatsby, or Lord of the Flies, or Moby Dick. Over 100 years later, here we are. I may not have meant to create a controversial piece, but it looks like that's what has happened. Instantly unknown to infamous overnight. That's crazy. As for those of you judging my racism that I've been labeled as having, God knew my true intentions. I can't do the accent. And knows them now. I will continue to stand up for myself. Did God make you racist? Is she Mormon, maybe, perhaps? The Mormons don't like the blacks. I heard about that. The Mormons. I don't think she's Mormon. I couldn't figure it out, but the biggest takeaway from this tweet is that she's saying her book is the next Lord of the Rings. Her book is so controversial, but so good that 100 years down the line, people will realize Nova's playlist is a piece of art. It is. Piece of shit. Anyway, like the amount of delusion you have to have in this situation, right? She continued tweeting, guys. I have more tweets, and these are the last ones that are directly related to the situation, and then we're going to talk about some other tweets that she has, because she has so many. I don't think she's, I'm reading this with Peace and Love, this is me speculating. I don't really think she has like a job, and I think that her freelance writing is like her thing that she does at the moment, just because of her setbacks that she had, where she can't be, she would still be a cop if she could be, right? So these next following tweets, one of them is really, really long, and one of them is actually also part of my favorite, like my second favorite of this entire story, because it's also so unhinged. So let me read it out to you, okay? Just the finishing touches of the story. You know, I was going to let things go, but y'all are just irritating me now because you don't understand me one bit. You think I'd throw my life away by threatening some author? Just because she's black? Don't flatter yourself, you don't know me. If I was stalking her already, she's giving like Debbie Ryan, like, you know what I mean? Sorry. Debbie would never do this. If I was stalking her, I'd already know her address, telephone number, and where she shops, because it's that easy to find people, especially if you've ever been in law enforcement. I don't know if she's implying she would abuse her law enforcement connections to make like a research on person. I don't really know what she's trying to say. I don't really know, guys. I'm just guessing. I haven't looked for any of that stuff. I just didn't know what country she was from when all of this started and didn't know what to tell an attorney. Stalking is creepy as hell and wrong. I don't look her up on social media. I look me up for my own records and defense and read people's comments and come across hers within them. And I don't really know how that like could have started this all. Sorry. And if I had tried to find her address, I would have already notified the police in her area and asked them to get her friends and supporters to stop bullying me on social media, because they would absolutely waste their time doing that, because we all know that that always works. Death threats and stalking are things I would never do, because that is a prison sentence, and an ex-cop in prison is a walking dead man. But you're a woman. Anyway, just effing read who I worked for at one point. That information has always been available to you on Amazon, and maybe you will be able to put it together. I don't want to unalive anyone. But if you push me into a corner, I'll have to ask for help from people who don't like it if you can't repay them for the favor. In other words, if I don't win my case and make them look bad, that could be the end of for me, literally. I'm already causing them friction in this state. And before you go, oh, she's in a red state, that's why they are that way. I protected every party under the sun. And they all have some people who are corrupt within their ranks. Sometimes you don't know who they are until it's too late. And someone you care about is dying right in front of you. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. And for all of you saying I'm mentally unwell, you can book off, not fuck off, because we're talking about books where you can book off. So what did you gather from that? Who's killing who? Why are people dying? We're talking about copyright, like that's not copyright, like that's not an issue. You made an elephant out of a fly. That's how you say in German. Do you also say that in English? I don't know. She made a big deal out of nothing, and now she can't handle the consequences. But then my favorite tweet, and I mean this with peace and love, like I hope she's doing well mentally, because she tweeted this on New Year's, for me at least. I don't know, I mean, she said she's doing fine. She told me to book off. She goes, y'all are the ones who are gonna get me killed. Cause gang members in Mississippi and next door hearing those rumors don't play. They will shoot the shit out of me and my loved ones. Y'all don't understand that you're poking a tracker jacker nest. And while I'm stuck in the arena, cut it out. The book references take me out. they cut me out. She's saying because she's getting called a racist online after being a racist online, gang members in Mississippi are gonna shoot her? What's going on in Mississippi? Why are there gang members in Mississippi? I thought there was just farms. Like some cows, maybe. Just peace and love. Fields, corn. I don't know what's going on in Mississippi. Now I know what's going on in Mississippi. Now I know why I will never go there. Though I do have to say, I do know someone from when I went to high school, like a teacher there, that did go to university in Mississippi. Does she know the gang members? God knows. That's the end of the story, though. That's the end of the story. You can obviously make up your own mind. It was really funny to me, honestly, how this whole thing escalated. Because as I just said, it was really just like making an elephant out of a fly. It was making a big deal out of nothing. Controlling the sun. I don't really know. And how did she even get to that point where she was like, this author stole my thing? And the stories don't have any similarities just because you thought of it in your silly head and wrote about it on Apple Pages in 2020 when you got hacked. Are you implying she hacked you and then stole your story? I'm so confused about like how you could get from point A to point B. How she got from anywhere to anywhere. I don't understand it. Anyway, some other tweets by her that I think are really interesting. Just to show you what kind of person she is. This was before the drama. She tweeted, "It's good to be back in Mississippi. Here, men act like gentlemen and hold the elevator for you without you having to ask." More power to Mississippi. Then, her political standpoint, of course, doesn't have any relevance. I mean, she mentioned it multiple times. She is a, how do you say? What is she? Republican. I couldn't think of the word. She's a Republican. She's pro-Trump. Pro-Trump. She posted about him so many times. She retweets things about Trump all the time. And also really like nasty things. I screenshotted some. Wait, let me see if I can find them. Oh, and by the way, she's also pro-Israel. And at the end of the day, it's really interesting to me because no one's making you reply to anything on Twitter. No one's forcing you to do anything on Twitter, right? Like, no one's forcing you to do anything on social media anyway. But she still tweets a ton. And then also tweets a lot about, what is it called? Like, to a lot of those Bible accounts, like Jesus accounts, God accounts, Christian accounts, where one person, like, asked, why do you think the Jews are hated? Why do you think people hate Jews? And she replied to that tweet, and she was like, well, I'm pro-Israel, but in the Bible it says this and this. And they killed Jesus. And I was like, no one's making you say any of this. Why are you saying any of this online? Why are you... You hate Jews too, but you don't? I don't really get it, you know? Like I'm sorry, I just have no understanding for it. And then she said something where they were talking about the, what does it say? Pro-Palestine protesters in New York. She replies, she quote tweets a tweet talking about that. She says, it's just going to get worse because the border is open. Close the border. Get them out. Get the people out. They cannot enter the country. Make America great again. She is MAGA. She has said that herself multiple times. She's proudly MAGA. She has also, I think liked this tweet because I went through her likes. I didn't have anything to do last night, I'm going to be honest. It's from an account called End Wokeness, and I'm pretty sure she follows it, allegedly. I'm not 100% certain. End Wokeness. Only one of these first ladies never made it onto the Vogue cover. Take a guess which one. And they included these pictures. I don't know how well you can see them. And obviously they picked, I don't even know who the blonde woman is, but they picked really ugly pictures of the three ladies here, and then a really beautiful picture of Melania Trump. A stunning picture of this stunning lady. So much class within her. And she always retweets her tweets too. She loves Melania Trump. And I just, you know, fuck women. Fuck women. They don't deserve to be on Vogue. They're ugly. They're ugly, and Melania is so pretty and she's never been on Vogue. That is so unfair. She needs to be on the cover. Get her on the cover right now. But my favorite tweet And that's just showing like she's not a girl's girl, but we knew that. We could have guessed that, right? But I thought this tweet made me go, huh? Out of all of her likes, and then of course also the storyline where she thought this dude was in love with her. It was like a dude with a six-pack from the Navy SEAL. I talked about it actually, right? I already forgot if I talked about it, if I mentioned it. But anyway, there's one last tweet that I want to say. And this is really funny to me. This was in November. I don't even want to read it out. And she didn't even mention Nigeria. It says, "Can you name 5 countries in Africa?" And she replies, yet again proving my point, you don't have to reply. You don't... Who's forcing your hand? Just shut up. Like, I don't understand how people, like, reply to this type of shit. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, I'm just like a silent watcher anyway, whenever, or a silent consumer whenever it comes to anything. I never comment on anything. I never like anything. I'm there. I'm seeing. I'm all seeing. I'm all knowing. I'm aware. But I just don't let anyone know. She replies, Kenya, Egypt, Sudan, Morocco, and Libya. Nope, I did not use Google to remember those. I'm kind of surprised because it's been a while since I researched that continent. There's also Zimbabwe and many others. It's time for Africa, Shakira. And I think that's a great note to end this video on. Guys, this one is fucking funny. I laughed my ass off when I saw this yesterday night because this is like, this encapsulates America for me. She encapsulates the image that a lot of people have of America. And I mean this with peace and love to the Americans watching. I'm not saying you are like this. Obviously, I'm not saying that. This woman is unhinged and this woman does not deserve a platform. And this woman, she needs to get off the internet and get some help. Really, like truly. Like it's so sad to me also. Of course, don't send any hate to her. I already said that. She doesn't deserve that. She got enough hate during the time. Like people were bashing her enough. She just is how do you say? Unverbesserlich? How do you say? She's I'll look it up. I really want to use that word. Unverbesserlich. English. Incorrigible. Incorrigible. It's hopeless. It also says incurable. Incurable. She's not gonna change. You know what I mean? And so I'm happy that she never even got to a point where she had a big platform, and that it was stopped right there, and that her intentions and colors, as you say, her true colors showed before it got to a point where it could escalate further, where it could hurt a larger base. Because this, I don't think Marv ever took this seriously. And neither did I, but honestly, I do have to say this Africa tweet is my favorite. Because do you understand? She didn't even have to use Google to Google 5 countries in Africa. She didn't even have to use Google. That's crazy. She just knew of Egypt and Morocco out of the top of her head. She even knows Zimbabwe. It's time for Africa. She loves it. She loves Shakira. She's allowed in the country. Shakira is allowed. Everybody else close the borders. Quick. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is all I have to say for today. This was longer than I anticipated. I'm sorry. Like, sometimes I just feel like I have to make shorter videos so more people can watch them. Not everybody's gonna sit here and watch a fucking 1.5 hour long video. I'm sorry. But I love you. I love you anyway for watching. And I'm excited to be posting more rant reviews. I hope everybody has a great Valentine's Day, whether you are celebrating or not. Who's celebrating Valentine's Day? Like, I feel like celebrating Valentine's Day, saying that just doesn't sit right, because you're not celebrating. You're enjoying, right? Like, you celebrate Christmas, but you don't celebrate Valentine's. Anyway, I hope you have a great time, regardless of what you believe and what you do. I wish everybody peace and love besides Lauren, besides her, and Rebecca Yarros. They're like in the same group of people, I would say. But Rebecca Yarros just maybe got some media training done. Sorry. And she's also like, I don't know if she's pro-Trump. Anyway, doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter, does it? Like, at the end of the day, I'm not a fan of either of them. So, you can let me know your opinion in the comments below. What you thought of this drama at the end of the day. Was it resolved ever? No, because there was no drama to begin with. Like, she made it all up herself, and so there was nothing to resolve. There was nothing to talk it out about, or whatever you say. So, let me know in the comments down below what you think about all of this. What's going on in Mississippi? Somebody let me know what's going on in Mississippi. And other than that, I hope you stay happy, you stay healthy, peace and love, and hopefully, I'll see you in my next video, which is hopefully a rant review. I love you. Bye bye.